Welcome back to the Voices of Women Summit, where, in honor of International Women's Day 2026, we are raising the voices of hundreds of women so their messages can be heard. Your host for this session is Kimberly Crow. Kimberly is the founder of Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel and the creator of the Voices of Women Summit. She's got another amazing guest coming right up. Take it away, Kimberly.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited for this guest. I've been talking about her since the beginning of today, but I've been talking about her for years. Uma Bambrew is 13 years old. She spoke first on the Voices of Women Summit way back when she was 9 years old, and since then has been up to only amazing things. Her coach is here supporting her as well, Jackie Bailey. But Uma, you have done two TEDx's. You've spoken in front of tens of thousands of people. You have really grown so large and done so much in so little time. I know that, I guess that's 4 years of your life. And there's people here that are like, I haven't done any of that in the last 4 years. It's totally amazing that you have pulled that together. And first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's such an amazing honor to be here. And actually, right before this, I was telling my mom I'm nervous, and she was saying, "How do you feel nervous? You've done this so many times." But I was like, "I'm still nervous." But that actually led me back to think about something you, Miss Kimberly, told me about 4 or 5 years ago, was it, at one of the speakers' prep meetings? You said that your body feels excitement the same way it does as nervousness. And that's something that I've been using since the beginning of my speaking, and that's something that has really resonated with me. So I just wanted to share that. That's one of the many amazing things that the Voices of Women community has given me.
Oh, well, thank you for saying that. You've done so much. And yes, we say that chemically in our bodies, we're feeling nerves, but it's the same chemically in our bodies if we're feeling excitement. So when I come on and I say, I'm super excited that Uma's here, that nervous excitement feeling is just the same. So great
Yeah.
tip for our audience. Thank you for bringing that up. Your talk today is actually very teen related. It is, what would you do? Scenarios, situations, and solutions teen face. Now that you're a teen for real, I know that there's sort of that in between kind of thing, but now you're really a teen. So tell us, what do we need to know about some of the situations that teens are facing?
Well, I can tell you about one of the situations I faced, which is when I downloaded my first social media app, TikTok, for the first time ever. And I think we know that here in the US, social media is a big part of being cool. And when I first downloaded it, it was fun, entertaining, and sometimes even educational. But before long, my feed was filled with beauty content, ads for products, and endless videos about how to fix your face. Now, if any of you have ever been just scrolling and seen an ad for a beauty product, type a yes in the chat and think about what did I do when I saw that? Continuing on, what happened after I saw that content? At first, I ignored it, but the more I saw, the harder it was to look away. It was like, be that, buy this, you have to get it now. And I think most of us have at least one insecurity about the way we look. And if
Or
you
several,
will,
yeah.
think about what insecurities you have. Mine, dark under eye circles. I've wanted to get rid of them for as long as I can remember. And one TikTok influencer really hit a nerve. She swore that a certain magical concealer could cover dark circles just like mine. And that's when the coaxing turned into concealing, because I started to conceal things from my parents. I did the unthinkable. I used my mom's Amazon account without permission to order that concealer. I know, horrible decision, right? But maybe think about one of the times you've made a purchase that maybe wasn't necessary but beauty related. So, continuing onwards, my mom had left her phone unlocked. With shaking hands, I placed the order and closed the app like a criminal escaping the scene. I told myself that once it arrived and I finally looked pretty, the guilt would disappear. When it
Wow.
showed up, I ran to the front door and I grabbed the box like it was Christmas morning. Well, the concealer was 10 shades too light, but I wasn't aware of that. I looked in the mirror, excited to see the new me. And what did I see? Disappointment. Sure, the dark circles were covered, but it was still me. Then I found a new flaw. My eyes weren't special enough, my eyelashes weren't long enough, and I found a new magical mascara on TikTok and continued the cycle. This went on for quite some time, and I think I made one more purchase, but then my mom found out. She
Oh,
called, Uma, come here. I was in big trouble. My mom said, I can't believe you did this. Why? The pit in my stomach made it hard to answer because I felt guilty. And I also felt stupid for falling into the trap that I now realize these TikTok beauty companies and influencers were setting for people. They were trying to make me feel less than, less than beautiful on purpose just to advertise their product. And just like TikTok made me feel less than beautiful, there were these girls at school who made me feel less than in other ways. What started as small comments behind my back, which admittedly turned into comments straight to my face, I I felt so confused and insecure on what to do. I'd never done anything to these girls. I didn't even know these girls. Why were they being so rude to me? I wanted to hide. I wanted to protect myself from these situations in which this was happening. Have you ever felt put down by someone else's words? And maybe think about what did I do in that situation? Continuing, I began to believe what these people were saying. It's like when they spoke a word, it somehow became real, and I slowly began to internalize it. I felt it was building on to my already present insecurity, and I was only 12 when this was happening. I was confused about what to believe. Who even was I? Maybe what these people were saying was actually true. Maybe that's who I was. Then this led into another not so great decision. I've made many of those. I didn't go to school for a month. And I know you must be thinking, that's crazy. And even I realize that now. My grades slipped, I lost out on important education. But the most important thing to me in that moment was protecting myself from this pressure that I was facing and protecting myself from these situations. So I thought hiding and running away was the solution. But little did I know that these girls weren't the problem at all. They were doing horrible things that were just so mean, but I couldn't control their actions. I could only control how I reacted to them. That's when I realized hiding wasn't the solution because the problem wasn't these girls. And connecting back to my TikTok trend story, the problem wasn't the influencers who were trying to peer pressure, if you will, young girls. The problem was my own lack of internal confidence. I didn't know who I was. Then, therefore, I was letting these influencers and these bullies at school define that for me. And what I did next to be able to help myself out of this and grow out of this was I started to slowly rebuild my confidence internally. And how I did that was I threw myself into speaking at any stage. Stages such as this, I threw myself in trying to help other people become more confident in their speaking. So, what I did in reality was I grew through empowerment. I found something that made me feel confident, that I love to do. And honestly, hearing that people liked what I had to say was so amazing for me. And that's what led me to build this internal confidence and this identity, to realize what influencers say, what bullies say, does not define me. And therefore, I think that if you're ever in a situation where you feel less than or put down or someone's telling you who you are, you can find something that you feel confident and most of all you love doing and express yourself through that because then you'll find your identity, feel confident, and no one can take that away from you.
Uma, you're giving me chills. This is so spectacular. This is such an emotional journey we're taking with you because many of us have felt what you have felt in different ways, pressured on by friends or pressured on by not so friendly friends, pressured on by social media, and the second guessing we do of ourselves. And you're talking at age 13 about overcoming that, taking on the responsibility yourself and saying, what did I do? What was my reaction to it? When some of us are just learning to do that now, you are very brave, very courageous. I love that you said, I didn't even know who I was. I was just 12, and now you're 13. And we're thinking, man, there are people here who are in their 50s that still don't know who they are. So I love that you got so grounded and so clear on an issue that's really troubling for a lot of women. How do you think you are dealing with that compared to some of the other girls, maybe the girls who were bullies that are really, they say bullies come from being insecure themselves, and how secure and confident you seem right now. Do you feel like maybe that's something that caused growth for you, but at the same time, those girls maybe aren't as growth driven as you've been?
Well, funny story actually. I talked about this a little bit in my TEDx talk, which you can find the link to here.
Right
Well,
there, good for you.
there was a friend of mine named Emily who she had curly hair and it was beautiful. But one day she asked me, Uma, is my hair ugly? And I said, no. Why would you think that? And she told me about the combination of TikTok influencers and girls, bullies who told her that it was ugly. But that's when I realized that this problem wasn't only happening to me. And of course, I told her, no, they don't get to tell you it's ugly. It's so beautiful. But it was just a really amazing moment for me to be able to realize that it's not just happening to me because you may feel that these problems are happening to you, but there's a community out there and you'll find it. So throwing yourself into these activities or things that empower you will lead you to find people who enjoy those things and most likely will enjoy your presence, leading to you becoming grounded and understanding the importance.
I think what you're saying now is something that we wish all of us at 13 had, and we wish we could give all of our 13-year-old daughters where you are right now with the presence of mind, the courage that it took to really do a deep dive into yourself and really look at where you were and what you could do to solve the situation for yourself. Not necessarily forgiving the bullies or making their behavior wrong or right or indifferent, but just saying, what can I do to change? And that my reaction will be of benefit to me instead of worrying about what other people think, and then helping a sister do that as well. Another girl recognized that her beauty was just fine, and she didn't need to feel the wrath of some of the other people who are a little bit more insecure. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And I think that actually, when I was crafting a workshop, which isn't out yet, but I was crafting a workshop around the same framework, I started thinking that what if there's people in the audience who, teens in the audience, who have experienced not being so kind to people? And since in person, I want to ask people, what will you do? And get their opinions, I really wanted to be able to incorporate their perspectives and their side of the story so everyone in the workshop could get an insight on what these people were thinking. Because I think it's very important not to make them out to be the villains, because of course what they're doing is terrible and not justified in any way. I would know, but I think it's very important to understand that everyone, especially teenagers, it's such a weird time for everyone, is going through this feeling less than, and everyone is going to eventually come out of that better with growing through empowerment at some point.
Do you feel like when you're giving, I agree completely. I love what you're saying. Do you feel like sometimes being able to say to the audience, what would you do? And then sharing vulnerable stories about something you went through and telling us of that. I mean, you brought me right on the edge of tears talking about how you ordered something from Amazon, your mom was going to find out. And it was just such a compelling story. You're a great storyteller. But
Thank you.
being vulnerable and being able to share allows for communication or better communication and better understanding. Do you believe that asking the question from the audience, what would you do, helps them reflect back onto them and not just listen to your story, but actually take it in for themselves?
Yes, I completely agree with that. And that's part of the reason I wanted to do that. I didn't want to just be speaking. I wanted people to be able to incorporate their own stories and really resonate with what I was saying so that they could gain a better understanding.
Yeah, I think what you've done has done that. At least I was reflecting on what I've been through in high school and in early teen years, and yes, I can definitely feel the struggle that you went through. You've got a lot of love in the chat as well. Colleen says, "Thank you, young lady. You have a very bright future. Mastering yourself at such a young age puts you scads ahead of those who are busy being rude." I would definitely agree with that. And then Helen says there's a book called Please Stop Laughing at Me, which is a worthwhile account of an adult reflecting back on her childhood. Became very successful as an adult. Do you have a book in your future? I know that you have a TEDx talk. Do you think you have a book in your future as well?
Well, actually, I've been in some compilation books with other youth summit speakers. So my talks have been transcribed into book chapters. And as for the future, I don't know. I would love to write a book. Writing is something that I love, and I would love to find a topic that would be able to help other people and they could gain something from it.
Well, we are delighted that this talk is going to be published everywhere. We're going to get it on Binge Network TV. We're going to get it out on our podcast. It's being broadcast live on YouTube right now, and you're inspiring others even as we speak. Yes, this talk will actually also be turned into a chapter in our Voices of Women 5 book, which all of you are welcome to find out about as soon as it goes live. And also that book will be turned into an audiobook. So for those of you who are multimedia and love your audiobooks, I do too. It will be turned into an audiobook so that her words can be out there for inspiration for other women. We love this. Michelle says, loved what you shared, Uma, and thank you for sharing. I have a 13-year-old at home, and you've opened my eyes about some of the TikTok trends and algorithms to be aware of. You are inspiring. So you've got a lot of love there. Be sure to save the chat. You actually have put together since our last talk, and I think you've been on all the Voices of Women since your first one, but since your last talk, you put together a wonderful free gift for our audience as well. We're going to put the link for that in the chat now. If my team can drop that, that would be great. It is the 10, let me see if I can say this correctly. It's a little tongue twister. The 10 TEDx talk tips from a teen who gave two. I love this so much. If you are interested in speaking more and you would like to find out a little bit more about TEDx, you can grab her free gift. Please grab it now. And if you got it, please put I got it in the chat box so that we know her link worked for you. While they're doing that, Uma, tell us maybe one or two of these juicy tips.
Well, first of all, I'd like to preface by saying that this gift isn't only for a TEDx talk. It's for anybody who's interested in speaking. And of course, it centers around TEDx. But if you're just curious about what it takes or what my tips were to be to start speaking, then please go ahead and check that out. And a couple of these tips are, I don't want to reveal too much, but practicing in front of an audience, getting feedback and don't take it personally, and just things like that that reflect on my own experience. So I hope you enjoyed that.
Well, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think practicing in front of a mirror is a terrible way to practice a talk. Also, practicing in front of your pets or your children doesn't work so well either. But the key important thing about giving a talk is getting that feedback. And you certainly have some warm, loving, supportive feedback from this audience here. I'd like to turn the conversation quickly to Jackie Bailey, who is your speaker coach and runs the Speak, Feed, Lead program. Would you like to say, I know she's here loving on you and supporting you in the background. Would you like to say any few words about either getting coached as to be better at speaking or the program that you're in or Speak, Feed, Lead?
hmm Of course. And I think the Speak Feed Lead is a nonprofit run by Miss Jackie, who is my speaking coach. And I personally think it's an amazing platform. When, funny story actually, when my mom signed me up for speaking lessons in 2020, and I had no idea what that entailed. I was 8 or 9, and I was like, I'm not doing this. I just wanted to watch YouTube. I did not want to do this. But my mom forced me. She sat me down in front of the computer and I joined the first call. I was so surprised. I had so much fun. I wasn't forced to give speeches or do things I wasn't comfortable with. The first lesson was just merely about communicating better in conversations. And that was something that really resonated with me. So I continued my journey with the speaking lessons from Miss Jackie, who is an amazing teacher, by the way. And then she provided me with the opportunity to speak at the Voices of Women Summit, my first ever speaking opportunity around, I think it was 2020, so around 6 years ago, or 5 or 6 years ago. And I was so nervous, but she helped me through it. She helped me craft a talk that resonated with me, that didn't feel fake or superficial, and that I was comfortable giving. And so I think the only reason that I've been able to share my message in the platforms and the places that I have is one, my amazing speaking coach, Miss Jackie, the Speak Feed Lead platform, and the Voices of Women community. Because if I never spoke here for the first time, who knows where I would have been. So please go give the Voices of Women other speakers much love because they deserve it.
Uma, thank you so much. Speaking of other speakers, your younger sister, decided to speak on Voices of Women today, just about an hour ago. Tell me what that was like for you, for her. Was she freaking out? Was she following your footsteps? What was that like for you?
Well, I think for me, it was just really beautiful to see that she was inspired by what I've been doing. I didn't even know she was paying attention, but it was really amazing for me to see her want to speak on a stage like this. And I think once again, I owe it to Miss Jackie and the Speak Feed Lead because she got me to those opportunities. She helped coach my little sister to craft the message she felt comfortable with giving. So, yeah, I think it was just really beautiful for me to see the Voices of Women gain one more amazing, talented speaker.
Well, you are certainly an inspiration for me and for many others here at the Voices of Women Summit. You are unforgettable and absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for what you've already done in the world and you're changing the world by these talks and by the inspiration that you're giving to other women. I am delighted that we could have been a part of it, and we are here celebrating you today. Uma, thank you so much. We do have another speaker coming up next. We're at time, unfortunately. I would spend all afternoon chatting with you because you're so amazing. But our next speaker up, also awesome, Michelle Abraham. She's going to be talking about the 5 pillars of soul-aligned podcast ecosystems. She'll be speaking at the top of the hour. But before we let you go, Uma, any final words for the crew?
I would say that if you're ever feeling less than or put down by something you saw on social media, something a friend or a not friend said to you, really anything, just go back to what makes you feel confident. And if you don't have something, try to find it, experiment. Go back and find what makes you feel confident, what empowers you, what you love to do. Find it, use it, and own it.
Beautifully said. Words to live by. Uma Bambrew. Please give her a lot of love in the chat. She's absolutely inspiring, amazing, fantastic. We certainly appreciate you carving time out of your day to be with us today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we're at time. We'll see you all back at the top of the hour. I'm Kimberly Crow. We're going to dance on out of here.
Wow.
Cheers.
Wow, that was an amazing speaker. For replays of this talk and all the talks, plus an incredible gift bundle, upgrade to VIP now. If you have any questions or problems during the summit, you can always email our support team at support@voicesofwomensummit.com. Stay tuned. We have another fantastic speaker coming right up.
Don't forget to save the chat, Uma. It's amazing in there.